Hi guys, today's video tip is on using soap nuts to do your laundry. I just recently purchased these soap nuts for the first time, even though I had heard about them at least 10 years ago. And the reason I started using them was because I wanted to try something that was a little more environmentally friendly. I've been using the laundry sheets. It's basically detergent that's in a sheet that looks like fabric softener, but it's a sheet that breaks down in water. And what has been happening is that it's not breaking down like it should, and sometimes it was stuck to the side of the washer, and it happened enough times to where I was like, I gotta try something different. So I decided to buy this big bag of soap nuts, and I've already used it a couple of times, and I'm going to show you real quick how to simply just do a load of laundry with the soap nuts. So because it is winter and it's very cold here right now, I'm going to go ahead and they suggest to do this if you're washing in cool water. And I'm going to be washing in warm water, but I'm still going to do this. So you take a little bag. This comes with the soap nuts. And I also purchased some extra ones. Here's a bag that I've already used. I purchased those on Amazon. They're pretty affordable. And you just take a handful of soap nuts and you put it in your little pouch. You pull it tight. I'm going to do just one little thing like that. And if you're going to wash in cold, they say to go ahead and start the process before you put this in the washing machine. This is a jar of hot water. And put a lid on it. I like to shake it up. I'm going to let this sit for a little bit, and I'm going to come back and show you what it looks like. Right now I'm about to go get my load of laundry ready, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes. It took me about that long to strip the sheets off my bed, and I went ahead and put them in the washer, and it's filling right now with the water. And I wanted to show you what it looked like after about 5 minutes. So you see the bubbles in there because the soap nuts kind of, I don't know the science behind it. I read it and I was like, okay, that makes sense. But it has, it kind of creates a natural soap, I guess is the best way to say it. And you can kind of see how the water looks dirty, and that is just the, what the soap nuts has done. It's hard to see around the suds, but what I'm going to do is put this whole thing in the washer, and this is going to act as my detergent. So while the water's filling up in the washing machine, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I've done so far. I've done a couple of loads of laundry, and everything came out, you know, smelling fine and unscented. It doesn't have a scent. It does smell a little bit like a fruity nut is the best way to describe it. If you know what flax seeds smell like, it's very similar. But so not only have I done some laundry with it, I've been experimenting in the kitchen with washing dishes. And what I did was, because I had it sitting there next to the sink, and I said, you know what, I'm going to see how this works as far as this kind of slimy container that had, I believe, something fatty in it. I don't even remember what it was, but it was just kind of greasy. And what I did is put some hot water in the container and then put the bag of soap nuts in there, and I just shook it up real good. And when I opened it and then dumped the stuff out, and I dumped the stuff into another container that I wanted to clean, but it felt like squeaky clean. Like it had literally been cleaned just from doing that. So I was like, wow, it's amazing. It didn't take that long and it came out so clean. I was like, wow. So then I decided to use it in the laundry. But what I also did was I put some in a jar like this. And what I did was I used the ones I had already used in the laundry, because you can use them, they said, like 2 to 4 times. And you know that you don't want to use them anymore when they remain soft. So they get kind of squishy, and at that point you don't want to use them in the laundry because they're kind of used up, I guess is the best way to say it. But I used that, and I put it in a jar in some hot water, and I shook it up and I let it sit just like I am now, And I poured that solution into a little spray bottle, and I'm going to use that to clean the kitchen in a little bit. And apparently they're saying that not only does it have like soap properties, but also it's antibacterial, and I believe antiviral. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it does have some antibacterial qualities. So I'm going to clean with that and maybe add that to this video, because I'm going to do that in a little bit once I get the laundry going. But anyway, let me go put this in the laundry, and I'll show you how I do that. I just take the jar and I just pour the whole thing in there. The soap nuts go, I don't even know if you saw that, but the soap nuts go in the washer, and they don't have to come out for a rinse cycle or anything, and everything comes out clean and toxin-free. Before I end this video, I wanted to discuss some of the reasons why I started using more natural products in the laundry especially. And because you may not be where I'm at yet, and you may not have noticed things yet, and maybe if you hear this, it will make you more aware of things that you're not really paying attention to. So about 6 years ago, my daughter became ill, and we had to be very careful about all of the chemicals and things that we were using in our house. And I actually had already been that way for many years. You know, we don't drink tap water. We've had air purifiers, shower filters, you know, things of that nature. And what ended up happening essentially is we got really assaulted by EMFs in our house, and she and I both became sick. But because she was younger, she became sicker and was more impacted by it. I'm going to do a video about that probably here soon. But we were using, I don't even remember what we used before we switched. I think I used Gain at one point. I really like the smell of this certain detergent, and of Gain, one of the scents that Gain. I know it comes in different scents, but and at some point we switched to all free and clear, which everybody thinks is super safe because it is supposed to be, you know, unscented and all this other stuff. Well, we in the winter, we have our dryer vent. We have this little attachment that we can make it vent inside the house so that we can take advantage of the heat and humidity from the dryer. And it just works really well. It adds, you know, heat in the basement and humidity because it gets super dry in our house during the winter because the heat is running. And so we really had to be careful when we started using that. We especially had to be careful that we didn't use anything scented, which is why we use the all free and clear, and just like no chemicals. So I thought we were being safe with the all free and clear. And then one day I decided to, and I don't even remember why, I decided to make my own detergent. And it was basic ingredients that, you know, you've probably seen with detergents. I've made both liquid and powder detergent. And when we first switched to that detergent, that homemade detergent, I noticed that the air was different when I was drying the clothes that had been washed in my homemade detergent versus the all free and clear. And that is when it occurred to me that I assumed that the all free and clear was safe. And what the difference was, I don't even know how to explain this so that somebody understands it, but it was as if I had a headache whenever I was doing laundry, but I didn't notice it until I no longer had a headache when I was doing laundry. If that makes any sense at all. It wasn't one of those, oh my gosh, I have a headache, I have to take something. It was like a head pressure. And it was like a pain, but it wasn't something that was, you know, so bad that I would stop and, you know, go, wow, I have a headache. But it was there. And when I started using the natural detergent, and I said, wow, this is like really weird that I'm noticing that I feel different. And it's because there weren't chemicals in the air. Even though the all free and clear is better than, say, Gain or Tide or something that's super scented, it's still chemicals. And it was still going in the air, and who knows I don't know what it was doing to us, but it definitely was making me react. So, like I said in the video, I kind of got tired of making my own detergent. And so we switched over to the laundry sheets, and they just weren't breaking down like they should. I could probably dissolve it in a jar like I am doing, like, putting the soap nuts in the jar. But I don't know, it's just another thing to try that the soap nuts are probably even more environmentally friendly than the laundry sheets. The thing I like about the laundry sheets is they ship them to you however often you need them. And they come in a paper envelope, and it's very, like, no plastic at all whatsoever. So that's huge to me. I hate using plastics. And so not only is the product safer, you can get scented and unscented. And of course we get the unscented. And my daughter did not react to those. I think she is using them now. She's married. She's moved out of the house. I think she might be using them now. But the soap nuts seems like another step up as far as environmentally friendly. And with being able to use it in the kitchen as well, I use Dawn dish soap, which is the best as far as breaking up oily stuff. The cheap stuff, it just doesn't work. If you've tried different ones, you just know Dawn is the best. And Dawn is actually not that safe. I use it for a lot of things, but it is not that safe. As a matter of fact, one of the things that I do is I put it in a spray bottle and spray it instead of just pouring it on a sponge or however people, do dishes. And that helps you not use as much. But even when I use it and spray it like that, it makes me cough. And I've just seen some negative information about Dawn dish soap, and so I thought, if I can use less of that as well, the less that goes into our water system, the better. And the less that goes into the air, the less that I'm going to react to, the better. So think about these things when you're using products. Autoimmune disorders have skyrocketed for especially women. We are more apt to get autoimmune disorders. And I do believe it has to do with a lot of the chemicals, but it's also, as I mentioned earlier, the EMFs have definitely had a part in all that. So I feel like if you're careful with all of those little things, and you're more aware of just being safe, using them more safely, I think your chances of getting sick down the road are going to be better. And that's really what I'm trying to do. A lot of people think that they're just going to die in their sleep when they're 90. And the reality is most Americans are slowly dying from a very young age. Last time I checked, 54% of children have some sort of chronic illness. That's more than half of children. And that's just absolutely ridiculous. And it's not going to get better as they get older. It's more than likely because they're taking medicines. It's going to just, get worse and worse. And if they don't know what's causing the illness, which most doctors aren't looking for the root cause, they're just going to get worse and worse. And the reality is a lot of us, we're dying. We're just slowly dying, and we are in pain for many years. We're on medication for many years, and we just are not healthy, not really living. And so, that dream that people have of being active and healthy and happy until they're 90 and then they die in their sleep, it doesn't happen that way for most people. So, I think we should just be careful with what we're using and what we're putting in the environment, because think about downstream. It may not affect you. As a matter of fact, most people would laugh at everything that I'm saying right now, they don't care. It doesn't affect them, but it might affect the kid down the street, or a kid, 5 years from now, when the chemicals we're using today are still hanging around. So that's kind of my main goal, to make as little impact on the environment as I can, as light a footprint, I guess. And I'm not a crazy liberal leftist or anything like that. I think we should all care about what we're doing. That's caring about your fellow man, and how what you're doing can impact your neighbor, or the next generation. So that's not a leftist and not a liberal idea. It's something that all humans should think about. So anyway, I'm talking longer than I wanted to. Hopefully the video on the soap nuts was helpful to you. You can get the soap nuts on Amazon, and you can get the little bags on Amazon as well. I won't be able to provide a link yet on my videos, but it's really easy to find. If you have any questions, though, just leave me a comment or a question down below, and I will respond. I hope y'all have a blessed day.